Hey guys, so this is the beginning of the live show for Much Ado About Nothing. No one's on right now because I just went live, so I'm going to I'm going to post the link for this live show really quick. Let's see. I can never do this like perfectly the first time, so here we go. Okay. Should we put a filter on this? As I did like that filter before, this like blush colored one. Let's do that. That's kind of fun. So I'm gonna post the link for this really quick on Twitter. Let me just do that really fast. I see that 2 people so far are on right now, or 1, I don't know. Let's see. I'm never prepared, ever. Like, this is just who I am all the time, not just for live shows. It's literally for any kind of anything. I might take off the glasses just because there's a glare in them. Let's see. Is that better? That's probably better. Let's see. Because I'm going to film after this, so I was going to wear my glasses anyway for that. So I figured I would just wear them for this, but then I have my laptop open and I have my phone, so the glare is kind of real. Okay. I'm gonna post it right now. Come join us while, oops, I do not know how to spell, while we talk about Much Ado About Nothing. Is that gonna work? I never know how to post like a live show link. It's just, it never works out for me. Okay, I'm gonna also retweet it onto my actual Twitter as well. So we're gonna log out again and log back in. Oh, there's 4 people here. Welcome, welcome. Oh wait, why did I just click out of that? That was not a good idea. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Because for some reason, oh wait, I think I can do it on my phone. Live chat. Oh, hey Emma. So we are just going to retweet this onto my Allie M Books Twitter, and then I can finally start talking about this play. And I've been live for almost 3 minutes, which, I mean, not that bad. Okay. I don't know how to work Twitter, clearly. Let's see. We read the Bard Club. Okay, I'm gonna retweet that really quick. I'm gonna add a little emoji. We'll do a little heart emoji, that's cute. I love the emoji with the smiley face and the hearts around it. Okay, delete one of those and retweet it. Okay, now it's good. There we go. Quote tweeted my tweet. All right, I'm gonna wait a little while longer to see if anyone will come join me. It's exactly 5 o'clock now, so I feel like that's kind of perfect. And now we wait. I think for my Hamlet live show, it took people a little while to come join us. I think we ended up talking for like 40 minutes, so that was really nice, but it did take a little while for everyone to kind of like realize, hey, she's going live. So yeah. Before I even get into anything Shakespeare, because not very many people are on right now, I am currently reading King of Scars. This is just the dust jacket. The book is actually on my bed. This is my new bookshelf, my black one. You can see that. And so yeah, that's basically just what I'm doing. I'm still waiting for people to join. Hopefully people will. I always worry that no one's going to join us and then I'll have to like reschedule it, which is always fine. But I really want people to come and join us. Even if you've never read Shakespeare, even if you haven't read the group book, then I want people to join, because I think it's like nice to see what other people have to say about this book, or like just like listening to like people talk about the things that they like, you know. I don't know. For like 40 minutes. Okay, good. I was worried that the audio wasn't working, so I just turned that on really quick. If you're watching, then, you know, let us know, or let me know. Just say hi or whatever, because I get worried. And yes. Okay. So I mentioned this, and I'll probably mention this again. Oops. I'll probably mention this again later on in the video for anyone who is just coming in or whatever, but I'm also keeping this up on my channel. So if you do miss this live show, which I mean, I don't know why you'd be watching if you're gonna miss it, but if you ever miss a live show for this little like book club, I can't talk. This is what I edit out of my videos. If you ever miss a live show for any of the book club months or whatever, you can always come on my channel and all of the live shows will be there. You know, I'm not gonna delete them. They will be there. So if you ever miss one, I got you. So for next month, we are going to be reading Othello. This was supposed to be February's pick, but then the booktube games happened, so right now I'm going to be reading like 10 books this month, and I just felt like I didn't have like enough time to do this and that, so yeah. We're gonna be reading Othello. I don't think anyone's on right now. Oh wait, 2 people are watching, I think. That's what it says. Anyway, Othello will be our March read. Like I said on Twitter, I decided that I'm not going to be reading any of the plays this month because of the booktube games and because I'm a super competitive person. So I really want my Team Ketterdam, to win. So it's not going to be Othello this month. You will have 2 months to read Othello, I guess. So I've actually never read this play, so it's going to be a new experience. Oh, hi, Colleen. So it's going to be a new experience reading Othello for March. Like I said, that's what's going to happen. I wish I wasn't super competitive, because then we totally would be reading this play for February, but I'm super competitive. I want Team Ketterdam to win. So yeah, I gotta read other books. I really want to give this play a lot of time because, like I said, I've never read it. And I get a little nervous about reading new Shakespeare plays, especially when I don't really have any context for them. And this one I definitely have like 0 context for. I don't even really know what this play is about, so that's going to be really interesting. And I'm nervous, clearly. So back to the book of January, was Much Ado About Nothing. This is a play that I actually read for the first time last year in my Shakespeare class, and I fell in love with this so fast. Like, it's just, I think, one of the funniest plays that Shakespeare has. I don't think that, well, I haven't really read a lot of the comedies. I've read and enjoyed more of the, like, tragedies and stuff like that, so I can't really be like, this is the funniest one, because I've never read any of the other comedies. But so far, this is definitely the funniest one. I also want to have, hold on, I want to have my Twitter thing open, because if you're not following me on Twitter, then you haven't seen any of my live tweets about the YouTube series Nothing Much to Do, and also the sequel Lovely Little Losers, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. It's really good. Okay, that's good. I'm really, really nervous to get to this book. This was a play that we were supposed to be getting to in my Shakespeare class, and then we took too long with Hamlet, so we never got to this one, unfortunately. Because I really wanted to read it, but just did not happen. Anyway, like I was saying, if you're not following me on Twitter, then you don't know that I was live tweeting one of my favorite YouTube series ever, Nothing Much to Do, and also Lovely Little Losers, which is the sequel that is based off of Love's Labour's Lost. But I tried to get people to watch Nothing Much to Do. I think I tweeted it out, like, we're gonna be doing this play this month, so watch the YouTube series. And I don't know if anyone actually did that. If you did, then that's awesome. Like, literally so cool, because more people need to watch it. It's really old. Well, it's not really old. It's like 2014-ish. So, I mean, that's kind of old, right? But, and I love it so much. Yeah, I did tweet out about it. It's really good. It's basically like a modern version of this play, set in New Zealand, I think, right? New Zealand. And set in high school. It's really good. It works so perfectly. Like, I think the thing I like the most about this play is that everything about it is just so modern. Like, I feel like the characters are super modern, the jokes are really modern, just everything about it just works in like any time period ever. And I think that that's not necessarily true for a lot of other Shakespeare plays. I feel like, you know, well, I mean, he does have like the historical plays like Julius Caesar, so yeah, yeah, sure, but I mean, you can still kind of adapt it, but I mean, a straight adaptation is like not really, you know, Julius Caesar. But nothing much to do. Much Ado About Nothing is like a pretty modern play. Like, just like, I remember the first time I was reading this play, I was actually genuinely like really surprised at the comedy and about the characters, like Beatrice being such a modern character. Like, I love Beatrice. She's probably my favorite character out of all of them. Like, I love I love Benedict and I love Hero because she's so sweet, but I think Beatrice is definitely my favorite. And I was actually going through some of my favorite parts in this play, and there's just so many good lines that like these characters have that I'm just like, how did this happen? How is this even written? Because it's just so good. I'm trying to see if I can find anything. Oh, and I think I retweeted a pin that had such a beautiful quote on it that I never really paid attention to, like when I was first reading it or anything. And if I could find it, I think it's in Act 2, Scene 1, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to find it. Maybe it's not in this scene. Oh, wait, no, it's not in, maybe it is, I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I just had it, and then it was gone. That is so weird. Huh. I do like when Don Pedro's like when Don Pedro's like, oh, you know, if you like me, if you think I'm so cool or whatever, you know, I'll be your husband. That'd be really cool. And Beatrice is like, no, you know, trying to let him down really easy. I love that part. Just, and it works. I'm gonna keep talking about Nothing Much to Do because I'm just absolutely crazy. But I love that part in Nothing Much to Do when Beatrice is like, oh, no, like, that's not really what I meant. I mean, I think you're really cool, but, you know, you're not really my type, and yeah. Love that. Oh my gosh, oh, here we go. Here's the quote. I knew I had gone too far. So it is in Act 2, Scene 1, and it's line 327, when Beatrice says, but then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. I love that quote, and I was like, I never really even noticed that quote the first time around, but now I'm kind of like, I want that tattooed on my body somewhere with like stars. Like, that'd be so pretty. Just, I love that. The whole quote is, so Don Pedro is like, your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour. And Beatrice says, no, sure, my lord, my mother cried, but then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. And I think that's the scene right after, like, it's in the same scene, but it's right after Hero and Claudio are like, we're gonna get married. I watched a couple of them, just watched the birds one. The birds one, oh my gosh. That episode, sometimes I really love that episode and I think it's hilarious, and then other times I'm like, oh my god, he is so annoying. But I think that's kind of Benedict's character. Like, there are times when I'm like, oh, I love Benedict, he's amazing, and then other times where I'm like, oh my god, can he just shut up? And that's the same in the, you know, in the adaptation and in the play. I guess I should also probably talk about the Kenneth Branagh adaptation, like the actual movie, because we watched that one in my Shakespeare class and it was phenomenal. Like, I genuinely love that movie. I'm gonna call it a freaking show. I love that movie so much, and I don't know, like, I expected the adaptation for this one to be really bad and really cringy, and it is kind of cringy. Like, the Claudio is cringy and I want to punch him in the face, and then Keanu Reeves is just really uncomfortable the entire time, or he just looks really uncomfortable. But yeah, I really love the adaptation. I think Kenneth Branagh does a really good job at adapting any of, like, the Shakespeare plays that I've seen, so that's really cool. I did think it was funny that I love that Kenneth Branagh always makes himself the main character in any of the adaptations. I'm like, he could have been, like, Benedict could have been, like, totally, like, the opposite of what Kenneth Branagh looks like, and Kenneth Branagh would still make himself Benedict. Like, but I did actually like that movie more than I thought I would. Like, I like other adaptations of, like, Hamlet or Romeo and Juliet. Well, I'm kind of picky on my Romeo and Juliet adaptations, but with Much Ado About Nothing, I'm just like, I love this movie. I would watch this movie even if I hadn't read the play, even if it wasn't Shakespeare. It's like a genuinely good, fun movie, and it's like a total rom-com, and I think that's why I like it, because I love rom-coms. Like, they're kind of my favorite kind of movie. And this one totally reads like a rom-com, especially whenever Benedict and Beatrice are together and talking. That's just what it is. I'm trying to see if I can find any of my other notes. I have actually, it's so funny, on the characters page, I have quite a few notes on there. Let me see if I can find anyone. Oh, it just says, like, stuff like miscommunication and stuff like that. Ironic doubleness to the title. I think that my professor, when we were talking about this play and, like, the title of the play, she was basically like, like, back in the day, nothing, like, was kind of meant to be, like genitalia, so, like, it'd be, like, nothing, you know, whatever. And I was like, okay. I don't even think I wrote it down about, like, what, like, it was just, like, Much Ado About Nothing, which, like, was meant to be, like, a woman, I guess, so Much Ado About Women, or love, or whatever, which, I mean, that's kind of obvious from the title, but she, like, mentioned it, and I thought that was kind of weird. Oh, we also talked about, I guess in the class, we also talked about, like, the meaning of the names. Benedict is to be blessed, Claudio is valiant, Beatrice is too blessed, which I loved that. I think that's why I wrote it down, is that Beatrice, her name means to bless, and then Benedict, his name means to be blessed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that, like, my shipper heart for that is just, like going in overdrive, because I ship Beatrice and Benedict so much. Like, I think that they're my biggest ship of any Shakespeare play I've ever read. And I love name meanings, and I love, like, things like that are, like, really small but kind of mean a lot. And just to know that their name meanings, like, match up so perfectly is everything I could have asked for. And it's just so cute and adorable, and I love it. I'm trying to see if there's any other notes that I have. I tend to write a lot of notes about her beef with Benedict, so I love that. I just love their, like, their relationship, or, like, their kind of non-relationship. I don't know how to explain it, but I just love the way that Beatrice and Benedict interact with each other. That's just, yeah, that is really just Keanu's face. He constantly looks, like, uncomfortable, and I think I think it kind of works for Don John. Like, I think that that's kind of his character. He kind of, like, hates to be around everyone. But I was just thinking about this last night because I was, like, rereading parts of this play. And I was, like, I was trying to, like, understand the significance of Don John as a villain. Like, he just seems kind of like a throwaway villain. Like, Shakespeare had to come up with some sort of, like, conflict or villain. Like, I think he had the conflict, but then he had to figure out who was going to do it. And, like, the reasons why Don John wants to do all this just seems so petty. But maybe that's, like, supposed to be a thing. Like, maybe he's just supposed to be petty and, like, I don't know. So I just, like, he's not my favorite villain. Even in the Nothing Much to Do adaptation, he's pretty much, like, non-existent. Like, he's there and he does what he does, but it's just, like, it's so petty, and it, like, I don't know, but I guess it makes sense. Like, someone, I was reading a review, and, like, they were basically talking about the same thing, being like, Don John hates Don Pedro because he's his half-brother, and he just hates his half-brother, but he also hates Claudio because Claudio, wait, so actually it doesn't make sense, because he's like, he hates Claudio because Claudio is, like, Don Pedro's, like, BFF or whatever, like, they're in, like, you know, they're friends. But then Don John also hates Don Pedro, so why would he care about Claudio? Like, I don't know, like, that just is so confusing to me. For some reason, I should have asked these questions when I was in the class, but I don't think that it really clicked for me until I reread it, and I'm like, what? Like, why is Don John even here? Like, what's, like, like, he's just basically there just to create conflict, which is fine, and I'm not, like, I don't want to say I'm, like, not mad about it. I'm a little mad about it, but it's just, like, I don't know. Yes, Carrie, that's so true. That is so true. And yeah, it is really cool about the names. Also, I'm like, am I the only person that does that with their characters? And I guess not. Because whenever I'm writing characters, I totally, like, think about the name meanings and, like, do they go together and does it make sense? And thankfully, Shakespeare clearly does that as well, which is really cool. But anyway, going back to Don John, I think my train of thought with that is just that I get why he's the villain, and I get why I kind of understand why he's making a mess of all this stuff, but at the same time, why is it necessary? Why does he care if Claudio and Pedro are friends, if he doesn't even like his half-brother? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Also, hi to anyone who has joined. I've noticed just a few other people have joined us, and we are still talking about Much Ado About Nothing. I'm literally going to hesitate every time I say Much Ado About Nothing, because every time I want to say Nothing Much to Do. I have an issue with, like, how much I love that adaptation, because I thought that, like, my love for the Hamlet adaptations would, like, never be surpassed, but I think that I love the Much Ado About Nothing adaptations even more than the Hamlet ones, just because I think I like it because it's funny. And sometimes, like, I like Hamlet because it's depressing, but sometimes you just need to have the funniness, and I think that that's why I like this play, and I think that's why they go so well together for me, because when I'm sad, I can read Hamlet, but when I'm happy, I can read Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah, surprisingly, it actually took until college for me to read Much Ado About Nothing. In high school, I read Romeo and Juliet in freshman year, and then senior year I read Hamlet. So those were the only two Shakespeare plays I read in high school. This one I read in my Shakespeare class, and I think this was the last play that we read, because she wanted to leave it off on a high note, so she figured this would be the best play to do that with. And I'm really glad that she actually showed us this in in that class because I had never read it before. I had never even thought about reading it before. And this ended up being one of my like all-time new favorite plays. So that was really exciting to like get to experience another favorite for the first time, because we did read Richard III and Julius Caesar, but I didn't end up liking either of those that much. I think we'll do those at some point, maybe just Richard III, maybe not Julius Caesar, I don't know, but I didn't end up liking those, so I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to like any of the other plays, but I ended up really loving this one. It's also like super short, which is really nice, so it's kind of easy just to reread it really fast, but I did really enjoy it. Seriously, no one asked, oh my god, I could literally probably rant about Don John forever. Like, it could be the whole live show. It's just me being like, why did Don John do what he do? Why does he care? Oops. Why does he care about Claudio? Why does he care about Don Pedro? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, someone make it make sense. Like, please. Yeah, I think I read Hamlet I read Hamlet in my AP literature class in high school. In the 11th grade, we really didn't read anything. We just read The Scarlet Letter. That was it. Actually, that's a lie. We also read, what's that one play? A Streetcar Named Desire. Those were the only two things we read the entire year of my junior year in high school. Was Scarlet Letter and A Streetcar Named Desire. That was it. So it wasn't until senior year that I read Hamlet, and I loved it, like, immediately. I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, I think that, like, I was talking to my brother about this, about, like, how modern this play is, with, like, just, like, the love interests. I'm not, like, not necessarily Hero and Claudio, but more like Beatrice and Benedict. Like, I feel like Hero and Claudio, they piss me off so much. I love Hero. It's not necessarily her fault. It's more of just Claudio. And I think I tweeted this. I had so many tweets yesterday and like kind of like a few days before that about Claudio and how much I kind of hate him. Just like... Oh my god, I literally want to punch him in his stupid face. But I mean, okay, so we were watching the movie in class, and the guy that plays Claudio is really attractive. I just have to say that he is really, really attractive, which I kind of hate because I hate Claudio, so I want to hate the guy that plays him also, but he's really cute. I've never read The Crucible. Literally, every time I say I've never read The Crucible, everyone's always like, you need to read it. I think that was my mom that said I need to read it, and I'm like, no. I might be wrong about that. Yeah, I've never read The Crucible. It's never been required reading for me, so I've just never read it. Which is kind of surprising, I guess. I don't know. There are a lot of things I've never read that people are super surprised about. I have heard that The Crucible is pretty good, and it's mentioned a lot in like different forms of like different like media that I've like consumed in the past, and I'm like, maybe I should read it at some point, but then I just forget about it like constantly. Like, I never think about it when I'm like going to buy books or whatever. So, I don't know, maybe I'll remember it next time and, like, actually pick up The Crucible. That makes sense, honestly. That does make a lot of sense. I was trying to find that post that I made about Benedict and the guy that plays him, but I can't find it. I mean, not Benedict, Claudio. Allie M. Books Claudio. I'm gonna try to search it to see if I can find that one. There was one person I wanted to read, but I had never really had a chance. Oh, I love Edgar Allan Poe. I love, like, oh my gosh, so good. I can't even talk. I love Edgar Allan Poe so much, and it's always like the highlight of any English class I've ever taken when we get to read Edgar Allan Poe, because I love all of his work so much. I really need to get like an anthology, or like, you know, what are those called? It's not an anthology, it's like a collection. Like a collection of all of his works, and they did have one at Barnes & Noble that was like really pretty, but I just don't have it. I prefer poetry because it's kind of like a shorter way to consume it, but I do like the short stories. I did a whole essay on The Fall of the House of Usher, and I fell in love with that short story. I really love it. And I think that I would have never read it if I hadn't wrote an essay on it, because I don't tend to read a lot of his short stories. I tend to read more of his poetry, but I did really like The Fall of the House of Usher. It was so good. That is honestly kind of weird. Like, that's so weird that like it, but you know what? There are so many things that have not been required reading in, like, for me in high school. Like, I've never read The Great Gatsby. It's never been required reading. And that one always freaks people out when I'm like, I've never read The Great Gatsby. It was never required, never had to read it. And people, and like, that's like my mom and dad's favorite book, I'm pretty sure, is The Great Gatsby. Or at least my dad's favorite book is The Great Gatsby. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, definitely look up Edgar Allan Poe's poetry. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah, we're in the never having read The Great Gatsby club, because that's kind of like a club that not a lot of people are in. Oh my gosh. Okay, I guess I have a lot of tweets about Claudio. Claudio is literally the worst person ever. Fuck him. Oh gosh. I love it. How much do you hate Claudio? So much. I think everyone can agree that Claudio is the worst person ever. I think that I've never met any single person ever in my life that likes Claudio. Not even in my Shakespeare class, where I'm like, I bet there's gonna be like one guy or something who's gonna be like a Claudio apologist and be like, he didn't know, he was, you know, whatever. No, I will not hear it. Oh yeah, there was a Great Gatsby movie. I think that was with Leonardo DiCaprio. I did watch it. Not my favorite. But then again, I don't tend to like a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio's movies. So that's less, I think that says less about The Great Gatsby and more about just me not liking Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm gonna get like unsubscribed. I have no love for Claudio. I feel like I could probably, like I said, I could do an entire live show talking about Don John. I could also do an entire video live show talking about how much I hate Claudio. Titanic. I've seen Titanic. I cried. I did not like it. I think I tweeted about this recently, being like, I cried during the Titanic, but I was also being like, this movie, I hate it so much. I think it's like it's an okay movie, but it wasn't, I don't know. I don't want to say it wasn't for me, because it is kind of like my kind of movie. I love crying. But that sounds so weird. But I didn't really enjoy it that much for some reason. Like, it was really long. I don't know, I just didn't really like Leonardo DiCaprio in it for some reason. And I also don't like the adaptation of Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's people's favorite movie. Like, people love that adaptation, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I actually really, this probably goes to show like my taste in movies and like my taste level, because I do like the adaptation of Romeo and Juliet that was like 2013. I'm gonna look it up, as I can't remember who was in it. I know that Ed Westwick was in it, which, I mean, cringe, but it's kind of good. Which, honestly, it's kind of a shitty, oh, Haley Steinfeld is in it. Which I think that speaks to the well, no offense to Haley Steinfeld. I do like her and I love her music, but it wasn't the best Romeo and Juliet adaptation, but it is my favorite Romeo and Juliet adaptation. Oh yeah, okay, so there's Haley Steinfeld, Douglas Booth, Paul Giamatti, trying to see if there's anyone else that, oh, Stellan Skarsgård is in it. There you go. That's good, right? I know that they're usually the two Romeo and Juliet adaptions that are shown in high school are the one from the 70s, I think, right? Is that 70s? 50s, 60s, 70s. Romeo and Juliet movie. 1968, I think, is the one that most high schools play. That's the one with the guy that looks like Zac Efron. Leonard Whiting and Olivia Hussey. Let me see. I love Haley Steinfeld. I know, didn't she, was that the Oscar nomination for that one Western movie? I think that was it, right? I love Haley Steinfeld. She's not that great as Juliet, but she does look a lot like Juliet, which I did enjoy. But that, I have to save that talk for the Romeo and Juliet live show. I want to do Romeo and Juliet maybe in April. I don't know. Or maybe I'll figure out like a better month to do that one. It would have been February, but then I wanted to do Othello, and then just, yeah, BookTube games got in the way. Oh, so if it was a fairly new adaptation, the one that like is kind of like modernized a little bit, that's the Leonardo DiCaprio. Who was the director of that? Because I do not, oh, the guy that directed the Romeo and Juliet adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio also directed the Leonardo DiCaprio Great Gatsby. So Romeo and Juliet, Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh good, Colleen, we are on the same page. I just do not like Titanic. I was trying to be nice. Oh, Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann also directed The Great Gatsby. So if you liked the Romeo and Juliet that he directed, you'll probably also really like The Great Gatsby he directed. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do each play. So if you guys have any like recommendations of like when you want a certain play in like which month, you guys can let me know, because I don't know. I kind of just play it like, okay, which one do I want to do next month? And then I just decide. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. And I'll definitely, I'm not even gonna take it into consideration. It'll be done. Like, it's just gonna be 100%, that's what we're gonna do. So if you have suggestions, the only one that I know that I'm gonna do in March is Othello. That's set in stone. So anything from April to beyond that, that's up for grabs. Like, if you have a favorite play and you want me to do that one, we're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about it. Oh boy. Yeah, that's probably the one that you saw. I know my brother, when he read Romeo and Juliet for class, that's the one he saw, was the Leonardo DiCaprio Baz Luhrmann production from 1996. Okay, cool. See, yeah, we definitely need to do Macbeth soon. Definitely in the coming months. Anytime you want to do that, let me know. Be like, hey, this month is coming up, let's do Macbeth. You tell me, because I am so down. I've never read Macbeth. I think I said that last time. Still haven't read it. And I really want to find an adaptation of Macbeth. So if you guys have any like suggestions for adaptions that I should watch, I don't know how many there are really, but if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe I should look up to see if any like Shakespeare troupes are like playing anywhere near me, or if any like production companies are doing any Shakespeare plays anywhere near me, and then maybe I can go see a Shakespeare play, because honestly I have not seen any live in a really, really long time, like since high school. How you guys had time to watch both the 1968 one and the 1996 one? What? How did you guys have time for that? That's crazy. We watched, okay, so in high school, we watched the 1968 version of Romeo and Juliet. Loved it. And we were all, like, absolutely losing our minds over the fact that the actor looks like Zac Efron. And then for Hamlet, we watched the Kenneth Branagh version, which is, like, over 4 hours long. So that took actually forever for us to finish. But yeah, watching both of those movies, was that in 1 year? Like, did you guys watch both Romeo and Juliet adaptations in 1 year? Or was that, like, 1 year you did that one and then you guys somehow read it twice in a year? Twice in, like, high school? That would be kind of crazy. I think, have I seen the entirety of I don't think I've seen the entirety of the Leonardo DiCaprio version. So maybe I need to actually sit down and watch the whole thing, and then I can give my actual opinion. But I haven't really seen the 1968 version since high school. I just mostly watched the Haley Steinfeld, Douglas Booth one because I love it. I think it was on Netflix. It might not be on Netflix anymore, so definitely check it out if it is on Netflix. It's pretty good. It doesn't like stick to the script all the time. But for the most part, it's a pretty close adaptation. I think, is the Romeo and Juliet adaptation from 1996 the one that does it word for word? Or is that not the right one? Am I thinking of something different? I don't really know. Does it say? Ooh, Claire Danes. I do like Claire Danes. I think she plays Beth in Little Women. So, oh, and Paul Rudd is in it. I love Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is really cute. Okay, the Macbeth that stars Patrick Stewart. Okay, I'm gonna look that up right now. Macbeth. Okay, I'm looking that one up right now. Ooh, okay, this looks interesting. Oh, it's from 2010, so that's really new. And it was on BBC, or it's from BBC. Okay. I think I've seen an adaptation of Macbeth. I want to say I have. But that was back in high school. Like I said in my Hamlet live show, in high school we had a troupe of Shakespeare actors, like a professional troupe of them. I think they were from San Francisco or somewhere up north. And they would come to our school once a year, and they would perform a play. So I know 1 year they did Hamlet. I think another year they did Macbeth. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they did. I want to say that they did, and I can't remember the other 2 years what they did. They might have done, I think they did A Midsummer Night's Dream, and they might have done The Tempest. I can't remember. But or maybe they did Romeo and Juliet. I don't remember. Let's see. Yeah, who doesn't love Paul Rudd? Honestly, he's so cute. In Clueless, oh my gosh, even now he's still really cute. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna watch the Patrick Stewart version of Macbeth. Definitely gonna do that one. Oh, you guys compared the two Romeo and Juliet adaptations in an essay. That makes way more sense. Which, honestly, that'd be kind of a cool essay to write because they're so different. Like, one of them is very, like, stick to the script. Like, well, stick to, like, the setting. And then the other one is, like, a postmodern retelling or adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. I love how we just went on to, like, a tangent of Macbeth and Romeo and Juliet and Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, wow. One right after the other. That must have been actually kind of nice. I love movie days in school. Those are always the best. So actually, I wanted to ask everyone, since there are a few people on the chat now, even if you did vote in my little poll on the Twitter page, I want to know who your guys' favorite character from Much Ado About Nothing is. You don't have to be like, and why. You can say why you love them, but I really want to know who everyone's favorite character is. It doesn't have to be between the 4 that I picked on Twitter. It could be Pedro. It could be Don John. It could be Leonardo. Anyone. So yeah, I think that'd be really fun. Also, I was just thinking about this. I mentioned Leonardo, and I'm like, does Shakespeare have a thing for really stupid dads? Like, is that just like a Shakespeare thing that he likes to do? Because I can think of at least 3 off the top of my head, even kind of 4 off the top of my head. Oh god, what's his name from The Tempest? It's like on the tip of my tongue. The dad from The Tempest, super dumb. Romeo and Juliet, Juliet's dad, super dumb. Ophelia's dad, super dumb. Hero's dad, super dumb. So is that just like a thing? Oh, Hamlet's uncle dad, super dumb. Claudio. Literally, if anyone said that their actual favorite character was Claudio, I would have to respect them, because I'm not gonna be like, well, do I have to respect them? Claudio, I could not understand if anyone actually loved Claudio, because he's just the worst. He just is. But yeah, what is your favorite character? I went on a tangent again. Who's your favorite character from Much Ado About Nothing? Who? Mine is Beatrice. Love Beatrice. Wish I could be more like her. I'm nothing like Beatrice. I'm not as good with words as she is, clearly. I don't think I'm like anyone in this play, actually. I feel like I can't necessarily relate to any of them. There are moments of Beatrice where I'm like, ooh, I can really relate to that. And then there are, I don't even know, like in the play, Hero doesn't have a huge part. Though I feel like she gets kind of a bad rep in, like, when people talk about Hero in the play specifically, because she's also the one that's kind of in on the whole scheme to, like, get Beatrice to fall in love with Benedict. So, you know, she's not, like, the worst character ever. Like, people, like, in my class, like, my professor was talking about Hero as if she was, like, super dumb. And I'm like, I don't think that Hero is super dumb. She's just not, like, the stereotypical strong female character that, like, Beatrice is. But that doesn't make her not strong, and that doesn't make her not, like, you know, important to the story. Beatrice, I think most people, Beatrice is, like, their favorite character from the play. I think that's a very solid choice. Even in, like, the adaptation, the Nothing Much to Do YouTube series, if any of you guys have watched that one, you know, it's my favorite. I love Beatrice in that one. And even in the movie, the Kenneth Branagh version, love it. Actually, I should look up the cast for that, because that's a pretty interesting cast. Let's see, movie cast. Okay, so Kenneth Branagh, clearly, he plays Benedict. Emma Thompson plays Beatrice, Keanu Reeves plays Don John, Denzel Washington plays Don Pedro, Kate Beckinsale plays Hero, and I cannot, like, I was watching Much Ado About Nothing, and I was like, who is Hero? Who plays Hero? Because she's so pretty. And I was like, Kate Beckinsale? Like, that looks nothing like Kate Beckinsale at all to me. Like, she looks completely different in the movie, and I'm just like, what? Michael Keaton plays Dogberry. So yeah, some pretty good people playing these characters. Let's see. My favorite line from Much Ado, I don't know if I have it written down. I have quite a few different lines. I know that there's lines in the very beginning that I love. Oh, I think this might be my favorite line. I have a lot. They're all said by Beatrice. This is Act 1, Scene 1, line 129. When she's talking to Benedict, they're kind of going the back and forth. And she says, I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me. I love that quote so much. Not necessarily, well, I think I go through phases of being like, I don't want I want everyone to be like far away from me. Like, please don't talk to me. Don't tell me you love me. I don't care. But only in like this kind of context of like, you know, whatever. You guys get it. I also love, if I can find it. Oh, I love this, it's in Act 1, Scene 1, line 91, when Leonardo says, "You will never run mad, niece," and Beatrice says, "No, not till a hot January." I love those lines. Beatrice and Benedict, because actors from the movie you mentioned are awesome. That is so true. I love Kenneth Branagh. I love Emma Thompson. Emma Thompson is like the perfect Beatrice. At first I was a little like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I loved her as Beatrice. She is just so perfect. Like, that is literally, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know who Emma Thompson is in real life, but it just seemed like it was so easy for her to play Beatrice. And she seems like a Beatrice. Like, she seems really intelligent and well-spoken and quick-witted, so I think that that really worked for her. And she's super cute in the movie. Love her. Yes, we stand an independent queen. That's my favorite, like, I love that line. There are so many lines from just the first act, the first scene, that are just so good. And it starts off so well. Like, it's really surprising. Oh, I love this line when Beatrice, it's still in Act 1, Scene 1, where she's like, "He is no less than a stuffed man, but for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal." I love that. Obviously, I cannot be a Shakespearean actor, but I love that line where she's like, "Well, we are all mortal." Let's see. I also love this one where the messenger says, "I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books." And Beatrice is like, "No, an he were, I would burn my study." 'Cause same. But, I mean, I love Benedict and Beatrice. I love the little beef that they have, you know, with each other. And I love that it's always like, just like, you know, they have such, like, each of them have such good wit, and like they really know how to like push each other's buttons and stuff like that. And I think that just makes for a really fun and exciting kind of story. That is true, Carrie. Honestly, that is so true. The sexual tension in just the first scene, the first act of the play, between Benedict and Beatrice is crazy. It's intense. Like, you can, especially when in the movie you really see it with like, with Kenneth Branagh and Emma Thompson, it really shows. And like, it's just like, you just kind of want to be like, "Kiss now, you guys can kiss." And I love the hate to love trope. It's like one of my favorite tropes of all time. So I think that's why I like this play so much, because it's so hate to love. Oh, I love the first time that they actually like meet in the play. When Beatrice is like, "I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict. Nobody marks you." And Benedict is like, "What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?" And Beatrice says, "Is it possible Disdain should die when she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence." And then he's like, "Then is courtesy a turncoat, but it is a certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted, and I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none." I love that. He wants to just, I love how they both pretend like they don't like each other, but yet they talk to each other so much, and I'm like, y'all, we know that you guys don't hate each other as much as you want to put on. We know that you guys just want to make out. It's fine. Just do it. And I think that that's why, like, Don Pedro and Hero and all of them try to get them together, because it's, like, very obvious that they're, like, suitably matched and, like, they should just make out. So, yeah. But I like that they put up a good fight. You know, they give it their all. there's just so many good lines. I mean, anything said by Beatrice and Benedict is gonna be a good line in this play. I think my favorite part, though, is, like, towards the end when they, like, didn't, like, was it that they both wrote poems about each other? Or, like, I like that in the Nothing Much to Do adaptation, they both write songs, and then they both perform them. And do they post them? I know that Benedict posts his, but I don't think Beatrice does. But, like, they both end up seeing the videos of each other singing about one another, and it's so cute and so adorable. So if for some reason you still haven't seen Nothing Much to Do, you should. It's really good. There's a sequel, Lovely Little Losers, which is based off of Love's Labour's Lost, which is another play I really want to do, because it's kind of, and it doesn't really have a plot. It's a little more of a nonsense play. It's really funny and kind of cute, and there's a really good movie adaptation, so I think at some point in the future we should probably do Love's Labour's Lost. But yeah, is there anything else I want to talk about? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about concerning this play? Because I think I've really touched on literally everything. You guys know how much I hate Claudio. You guys know how much I love Benedict and Beatrice. I ship them so hard. The hate to love is so strong in this play. It is so good. And I love anything where it's like the mix-up of, or like not really the mix-up, but just like, you know, like the characters aren't really talking to each other, so they kind of get like different information, and then they come together in the end and it all works out, and I love it. So I think that's everything I wanted to say about this play. I love this one. I love all the adaptions. I love literally everything about it, the characters, everything. I think it's so funny, and I'm so glad that we got to do this one this month. And yes, so like you guys know, I'm going to take this month off, February, for the booktube games, because I am Team Ketterdam and I want us to win. I want to bring home that W. So I'm going to not be doing any plays this month. We're going to take a month off, and then in March we are going to read Othello. This is the play that I chose for February before I knew about the booktube games. And then I found out about the booktube games. I really wanted to do it, so we're gonna read Othello. Never read it before, so I'm really nervous, but I think it's gonna be good, and I have really high hopes for it. So this is gonna be our March book, and yeah, so I think that's gonna be the live show. And I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you guys had a good time, and I really loved all of our conversations, not only about Much Ado About Nothing, but also about like Leonardo DiCaprio movies and other like literature that is out there. So thank you guys for making this a really good live show. I'm so glad that so many of you guys got to come and join us, and I will see you in my next video. I don't know why I'm doing like my normal outro. That was really weird, but I will see you guys back on Twitter. You know, maybe we can talk more about the play and talk more about any other Shakespeare plays. And I'm glad that you guys had fun and enjoyed it. And yes, see you guys in my next live show. See you guys on Twitter. And super excited to talk more about Shakespeare.